Oh, thank you very much indeed, Johnny. Well, a very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Scarborough's beautiful Peasholm Park and our unique holiday attraction, the Naval Warfare. We are very proud of the fact that the show you're about to see has been reported all over the world and has received coverage on television, both BBC and ITV, and we hope you're going to enjoy this year's production of the Naval Warfare. I'd like to say now that this is a holiday show, lots of fun and a jolly good battle, and everyone lives to fight another day. In fact, it's a sort of a cowboys and Indians, but with boats. Now don't forget, boys and girls, mums and dads, we want you to join in once the battle gets going. Lots of booing, lots of cheering, and we shall have a practice of that in a few moments. Now this evening we are going to commence our programme with a parade of the ships used in the action. And the first to appear, the green ship coming round in front of you now, was the Jervis Bay. Now the Jervis Bay was an armed merchant vessel, and this brave ship took on an enemy battleship single-handed to protect the convoy that she was guarding. There we are. Some of you will have already read about the true life heroics of the real Jervis Bay. Well, following the armed merchant vessel, we come to the Asturias, a true-scale model of an ocean-going liner, the RMS Asturias. A really beautiful ship, completing every detail with her own batteries and control gear, and fully manoeuvrable in every way, as are all the models used in the show. All these ships were built in Yorkshire shipyards and are all over 21 foot long. 21 foot long. Now this particular ship was completely rebuilt for us last year. If you check your programmes once again, you will know how long the show's been running, and the last one had well and truly worn out. We had a brand new Asturias last year, built in Scarborough by Scarborough Marine Engineering. There we are, that's the Asturias. Well, we now come to two very famous ships in the history of the Royal Navy. They are the 6-inch Leander-class British cruisers, HMS Ajax, followed by HMS Achilles. And both these ships will always be remembered for the part that they played in the epic Battle of the River Plate. There we are, that's HMS Ajax, followed by HMS Achilles. Now these two famous vessels are now joined by the third of the famous trio. Here she is coming towards you now. Her old boiler's making a lot of smoke, and that's the British cruiser HMS Exeter with her 8-inch guns. There we are, so this one is the Achilles, and now turning in front of you is HMS Exeter. Well, next we come to that very famous aircraft carrier, HMS Ark Royal. And as you can see, she is a unique example of scale modelling. Here she is coming around in front of you very slowly, but very surely, and she's got planes and helicopters there on the flight deck. There we are, that's HMS Ark Royal. And she is swiftly followed very closely by the capital ship of the fleet, the mighty battleship, the Robert E. Eves, a powerfully built man of war with 11-inch guns and capable of inflicting heavy damage when in action, as you will see in just a few moments' time when the battle gets going. There she is, going around the Ark Royal there, so that you can have a good look at her. And that's the battleship, the Robert E. Eves. Well, whilst the parade continues and our fleet sail away to prepare for this evening's show, I should like to mention that during the battle, there will be several very loud bangs. Now, in spite of this warning, we do tend to get a rather, we do tend to get one or two tears from the little ones. So mums and dads, if you're looking after the very tiny ones especially, do please either make sure that their little ears are covered or that they're well warmed. They're going to be, no, I think he's a bit too big for that. Oh, he's a little, sorry. Anyway, there we go. Now then, so keep them well warmed. There are going to be several very loud bangs towards the end of the show. I should also like to mention that all of us who work in this beautiful park try to keep it as clean and as tidy as is possible, so that it is a place that you may visit and enjoy at any time during your holiday. Unfortunately, after some shows, we do tend to get a large amount of litter left behind, and so please, we would appeal to you, please put your litter in the bins provided, or perhaps if you're sitting away from a bin, if you'd like to put it in a bag or a pocket or something and dispose of it later. I'm sure you will cooperate with us in this matter, and we would like to thank you for your cooperation. Thank you very much indeed. Right then, boys and girls and mums and dads, I did say that we'd have a practice of the cheering and the booing. I know at least two people will be ready for this, getting ready for a practice of the cheering and the booing. Now then, during the battle you will see our side faring quite well on some occasions, and on those occasions you can give them lots of encouragement by giving a very loud hooray. So let's have a practice of this one. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Have you done it? Was that it? Goodness me. Well, I'm sure that... what's this fine bunch of people down here? Is it a school party or... Yes, it's a... Oh, jolly good. Well, I'm sure you can make more noise than that. I'm sure your teachers would say that you make more noise than that in the classroom. Right, come on then. Let's have another go. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're getting the idea. That's a bit better. Yeah. Now, also during the battle, unfortunately, on the odd occasion, you will see our side faring well, not too often, but not too well either, just on the odd occasion. So on those occasions, we can try and warn them of the impending disaster by giving a very loud boo. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. Right, jolly good, that's it, you're getting the idea now. See if you can improve a little bit more, just a little bit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the ships have had to go round the main island, and some of them have anyway, and they're forming up in a convoy. They'll be back with us any moment now, just till they get back. A little snippet of music, it's called Hearts of Oak. It's the march past of the Royal Navy. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Thank you kindly. Well, we now commence the Naval Warfare. If you'd like to look to your right, down there towards the bridge, you will see the convoy being led in by the Greek ship, the Jervis Bay. And as the convoy sails on, the enemy sends out the pride of their fleet, the mighty battleship. If you look directly behind me, towards the entrance to the harbour there, we should see the battleship sneaking out, and it's going to be firing on our convoy. So let's give it a big boo. After 3, 1, 2, 3. say it's just sneaking out of the harbour there, but it's already firing on our convoy. And as the 11-inch guns of the battleship open up on the convoy, the escorts return her fire. You will see the lightly armed ships and the unarmed ships trying to get out of range of the battleship, and as soon as possible the escorts will race to get between and return fire on the battleship. There we are, the escorts now are returning fire. But now Ajax has contacted Royal, who has recalled her bombers from another mission to take up the defence of the convoy. And they are now diving into the attack. So let's give them a big cheer. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Here we are now, the first of the planes now closing in on the enemy battleship. Oh, excellent shooting there. A direct hit right on the bows of the battleship. Second plane now closing in on the battleship. Oh, and as you can see, another hit there right on the bow. Well, the enemy battleship, now receiving the worst of the battle, tries to make her escape and is assisted by the enemy shore battery opening fire on her pursuers. You will see that the enemy battleship is beginning to turn. She's realised how many ships are in the convoy. She's realised she's well and truly outnumbered. And what with the air support as well, I think she's decided it would be best, in her own best interests, to try and return to the safety of her own harbour. Well, as you saw, the battleship was hit twice on the bows, and she's now belching black smoke. She's ablaze on one of her rear gun turrets, and she's turned and she's making back towards the safety of her own harbour, where it looks as though she's going to be in need of extensive repairs before she will be able to join in the battle once again. Well, there she goes. The escorts have virtually sealed her in that little area, and she's scuttling back off towards the safety of her own harbour. There she is, ablaze on her quarterdeck and the rear gun turret, and it looks as though our side has won the first round of the battle. So let's give them a big cheer. 1, 2, 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you may or you may not know, I'm going to tell you, just in case you don't know, but the whole idea of a convoy is that the armed ships are there to protect the unarmed ships, which are bringing valuable supplies and men to the battle. And it is most important that they try and keep a nice tight formation so that the armed ships can indeed do their job and protect them. Well, as you can imagine, after a little skirmish like that, it's understandable that one or two, in fact one ship in particular, has been left straggling behind. If you like to look to your right, down there towards the bridge, you'll see one of our merchant ships is already underway, and the skipper is trying to get the boiler warmed up and so they can hurry up and try and catch up with the remainder of the convoy. And meanwhile, the enemy will be sending out the submarine. If you look directly behind me towards the lighthouse there, you can see with this blazing sunshine, the lighthouse there, you may well just see an enemy submarine, and it's going to be firing on our lone ship. So let's give it a boo. After 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a very smart silver-looking submarine, just in case you're looking for something different colour. The British Pride sails on, and her captain is unaware that her presence is known to the enemy submarine. Suddenly the lookout on the submarine sights the vessel and informs his commander, enemy target. merchant vessel bearing 040. Efficiently, the submarine commander gives his orders. The enemy crew are already preparing their complicated procedure for a torpedo attack. The torpedo officer warns his commander, on target, 1,800 yards, reducing. Fire 1. Fire 2. There go the torpedoes, streaking through the water. Did you see them? No. There you are, you see, you didn't believe me, did you? There they were, the torpedoes striking them and causing some damage to the British Pride. Well, the skipper's now got his damage control crews trying to plug any holes and make sure that she can try and continue on her journey and catch up with the convoy. Well, there she is. She's trying to make headway once again. And meanwhile, the enemy submarine has decided to fire on the British Pride with her deck guns. So let's give it a boo once again. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Shot fired. That looked as though very close on the starboard side. Oh dear, I directed midships and it looks as though she's ablaze. As you can see, she took 2 or 3 hits there and she was ablaze, and now there's lots of smoke coming, and as you can see, she is listing heavily to the starboard, and with her engines and boilers gone, I'm afraid that looks like the end of the British Pride. Oh dear, let's give the enemy a big boo once again. 1, 2, 3. Well, the enemy submarine decides to change course and to seek out further victims of prey. But as she does so, she is spotted and attacked by bombers from the Ark Royal once again. I hope this is not one. Any moment now, here we are. First of this little sortie, and it's closing in on the submarine. Let's hope they can put it out of action before it does any more damage. Excellent shooting there, right on the deck gun, and the second plane now closing in on the enemy submarine. Now you see, delayed action. And there we are, two shots fired at the submarine. And as the planes bomb and attack the submarine, they're joined in the attack by the brave merchantman, the Jervis Bay. If you'd like to look to your left over here, once again, you all look like sailors saluting. Look at this. All right, that's enough, I think. You don't need to salute me anymore, thank you. Right, jolly. And there's the Jervis Bay, firing on the enemy submarine. Well, as you can see, the gunnery officer's already got his range. Oh, and excellent shooting there, right on the conning tower of the submarine. As you can see, it's well and truly ablaze, and the crew will be rushing to make their escape now. Well, the Jervis Bay has received orders from headquarters, and she's been told to patrol the area looking for possible survivors, both from our own ship, the British Pride, laying stricken in the water over there, and also from the enemy submarine as well. So that's what she's doing. She's patrolling the area looking for possible survivors from the two ships. Well, unfortunately, unbeknown to her, the enemy have sent out the mighty battleship once again. Once again, if you'd like to look to your left, you will see the battleship coming around the corner, and it's going to be attacking the Jervis Bay from her stern. She may not realise, so let's give them a big boom. 1, 2, 3. Oh dear, as you can see, Jervis Bay has been hit on her stern. Hopefully she'll get a move on and try and avoid the shells, do some manoeuvres, and try and get out of range. Well, she's taken another hit near the stern there. She is getting a bit of a move on now, and hopefully... Oh dear. Well, meanwhile, the Jervis Bay has been in touch with Bomber Command once again, and this time the RAF have been sent to her aid. So let's give them a big cheer. 1, 2, 3. Very good. And here's the first of the RAF planes now closing in on the enemy battleship. Well, that one landed on the far side. You may well not have seen that, but that landed on the far side of the battleship, causing some damage. Second plane now closing in. Well, this time a direct hit on the bows of the enemy battleship. Well, as the enemy suffers her first damage by the bombing of the aircraft, she's soon to be finished off by HMS Ajax, who along with the Achilles and Exeter are returning to join up with the convoy. If you'd like to look to your right down there towards the bridge, we should see the escorts any moment now racing in to finish off the battleship. So let's give them a big cheer. 1, 2, 3. Well, there they are now, just sneaking in under the bridge. Any moment now they'll be opening fire on the battleship. Well, as you can see, a very impressive direct hit there which caused an onboard explosion. As you can see, that battleship is well and truly out of action. Well, meanwhile, combined headquarters have not been idle, and orders are flashed to the British ships to carry out a combined attack with Bomber Command on the heavily fortified enemy shore installation. The attack will be pressed home at all costs, and the bombers will go in 2 waves, and the cruisers will carry out a rocket attack. And as the alarm is raised and the British fleet approach, the enemy gunners prepare for action. The air raid warning sirens cry out, and with the first wave of Royal Air Force bombers, the final assault is on. So let's give them one last big cheer as they're going to finish off the enemy shore establishment. 1, 2, 3. There we are, the planes closing in and the escorts lining up for a barrage.
What did that do? What? Did it go
combined attack of the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force, having blasted the enemy stronghold into submission, the Union Jack is hoisted. Give it a big cheer as it goes up. And apart from one or two isolated pockets of resistance, the invasion fleet now proceed to their new berth, and whilst the British ships make for their anchorage, we end this evening's performance of the Naval Warfare. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much indeed. Well, thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, and you know people who are coming to Scarborough later on in the season, do tell them to pop down and see the Naval Warfare. Could I remind you that the rowing boats and swans will be opening up very shortly, and if you would like to go on those, they will be available very shortly. For any of you who have to get back to the South Bay quickly, then there is a bus which is waiting at the entrance to the gate which leads down to the boat house there, and there will be a gentleman there very shortly, I should think, giving you a wave, and if anybody wants to get back to the south side of the South Bay, then there is a bus which goes around the seafront, a very pleasant journey around to the seafront there. Hope you've enjoyed things, and from myself, a very good evening to you all. Thank you.